Hi everybody, it's been a while since I've done an update video, so I thought I'd let you know what's going on this year, what I've been doing so far, and what there is to come in 2020. So I've been working on pieces for an exhibition in Edinburgh in August, Exposed exhibition. This is one of the pieces, Exposure, What Lies Beneath. So that piece is finished. I've just nearly finished Closure, which is the second piece. This work it's like two bookends of a story that started in 2017 when I experienced a great loss in my life, a bereavement, and I started to embark on a journey of introspection, quite an intense journey of introspection, looking at how I was feeling, trying to make sense of how I was feeling, trying to make sense of the deep sadness and sorrow that I was feeling, and express that in my work, which I managed to do with a lot of pieces, various pieces, various mediums: photography, painting, ink, drawing, poetry. So I started that process in 2017, and this year I've made a decision to close that process. Now, Exposure is kind of the beginning bookend of that. Exposure, What Lies Beneath is the cutting open of myself, and kind of pulling back and exposing all of those feelings and emotions, as you can tell by the piece here, exposing me underneath with sort of like an organ, a heart or something, just something quite visceral. Now, Closure is a choice. It's a choice for me to close this period of my life. So Closure is more enclosed. It's an end. It's not a complete end. It's not something I'm never going to return back to. And you'll see by the piece when I finished it that there is a possibility of reopening that. But at this present time, I want to close that chapter and move on to creating art. Maybe still dealing with those subjects, but more of an outward-looking art as opposed to introspection. So I've been working on those pieces. They're nearly finished. I've finished very early because the exhibition is not until August in Edinburgh, Exposed 2020. I've been working on a poetry book, which is called An Altered State of Being, and I've ordered the first proof copy today. That was one of my goals for 2020, was to create a purely poetry anthology, and there's 3 chapbooks. Chapbook 1 is Grief, and that's about the process of grief that I have been or had been going through. So a lot of the poems in there relate to loss and kind of disbelief and questioning and searching. The second chapbook is State of the Nation, which is about kind of 21st century society, about our use of social media, about need to gain likes and followers, about Donald Trump, there's one in there, about capitalism. There's a lot in there that's quite heavy going about the state of the nation, or the state of the planet, the state of the globe. And then the third chapbook is called Potpourri. I didn't know until recently that potpourri means an assorted collection of unrelated items. So I had other poems that I wanted to share, but I didn't have a particular theme for those poems. And using the wording of potpourri, I can put those poems together. They're unrelated, but they're a collection that I wanted to share. So in all, I think there's probably about 37 poems in the book. It's only a small anthology, and it's going to be available to buy quite cheaply, because I would just like people to share it and just to experience it and see if anything resonates with them, to be honest. I was talking to somebody recently and spoke to them about art, and the reason I make art is, well, yes, it would be nice to sell stuff, but the reason I make art is because it's about connection for me. I think connection is something that's really important in my life. Having real connection with people, and I create art to build those real connections and for people to think about does it resonate with them, or can they relate? Sometimes it's nice to create beautiful things, but I like to create things that have a message that people might speak to people, or make it easier for them to deal with sort of emotions and feelings that they're going through. Also, I've got another exhibition, unsure about the date yet. It's going to be in Shoreditch, probably the Espacio Gallery, maybe May or June, and the theme for that is we're unsure about as well. I'm creating a collective with some fellow artists, Audrey Kirk, Juliana Lauletta. We're trying to create a collective that is there to assist artists to show work, to curate, share our experiences and knowledge in workshops. So I'm looking forward to that. That's really positive. That's something I wanted to get into as well, because as much as I love making work and I love making art, I love seeing other people create as well. There's going to be a poetry evening, I think on the 30th of April at the Spaghetti House. I've been asked by a good friend of mine, Rennie Relixi, to do a poetry evening at an exhibition called Self in the Spaghetti House. So I'm going to be doing that. What else have I got going on? Probably a lot of other things, really. But I said to myself last year, I'm going to take a break from making art, or just slow down a little bit, and that's not happened. But it's organic, so I like that. It's naturally come along for me to do it that way. So yes, that is an update from me. I hope to give you more updates soon on what I do not yet know. My book, the proof copy, should be with me soon, so I'm going to have a look at that and just make some final changes. But yeah, things are progressing. 2020 is the year of small wins, so long may it continue. Thank you.